Okay, welcome to the easy way to sell on eBay. My goal for this presentation is help you to be confident and on how easy it is to list an item on eBay compared to back in the day when I started. I feel so old now. About 18 years I've been selling on eBay, and it's my life, it's my livelihood, and I love it. It is a lifestyle for me. I've been on since '97. You can find my eBay ID as Danna, D-A-N-N-A, and all of my information is there. I'm a consignment seller, and I travel around and I speak on eBay and email marketing. So I'm also a local expert with an authorized local expert with Constant Contact, and I joined their program in 2007, and they actually contacted me because I was so active with marketing my eBay business, and they knew that I was a public speaker, and they asked me if I would be interested in their program, and obviously I was, because I only promote items and products that I believe in, and I'm a true believer in their product because it works so well for me. So, quick note, they are the sponsor of this. They do provide the webinar service for me, so they make it easier for me. I don't have to pay for it. That's great. And I can offer free webinars for all my friends and everybody who's interested. So special thanks to Constant Contact. If you'd like to take them out for a spin, they do offer a free trial, and please sign up at my URL so that I do get credit. It's at powersellingmom.constantcontact.com, and you all should have an email with that information in it. So, moving right along, I just want to make sure that I get credit for it. Okay, so this presentation copyright protected, so I don't own eBay, of course, but I do ask that nothing shall be produced, or that you're not recording this without my permission. Please don't take screenshots. I am recording this, and you are welcome to use the recording when you receive the follow-up presentation. Okay, so first off, I do not go over step-by-step how to join eBay or how to join PayPal, because it seriously is easy, and those of you that are already on these sites I know will agree with me. So if you're not a member of eBay, all you're going to do is go to ebay.com, look for the login or registration, and just fill out the information, and boom, you're a member. And then you do the same at PayPal. You go to paypal.com. It's simple, easy, straightforward. So we're going to talk about researching items on eBay. I'm going to talk about different listing styles. We're going to talk about the fast track to listing items on eBay, because that's what we're here for. We're going to talk a little bit about eBay shopping. I did a little bit of that today in my free time. And I'm going to give you some tips, and then we're going to have our Q&A. So the most important part of being successful on eBay is research, research, research. And I cannot stress that enough, because I'm a consultant. I get people contact me from all over the world, and they'll call me and they'll say, I don't know, Danna, eBay sucks. I can't make any sales. And I'll go in and I'll do an in-depth review of their listings, and sometimes, not all the time, but many times, the reason their items are not selling is because they're listing items that nobody wants, or there's no market for those items on eBay. So this happens sometimes. I know I'm in liquidation mode myself right now, so I've been doing a lot of getting rid of items that didn't sell, and sometimes it happens as a seller, when the market's hot. But the main thing is that we learn about research is that everything is not worth millions. And for me personally, as a consignment seller, I get people that come to me and say, oh, Danna, this is worth millions because I saw it in a collector book. The collector book said it was worth millions, or I saw it on this road show. The road show said it was worth millions, or someone projected it on a TV show, or an appraiser said it was worth millions, or I Googled it, Danna, and Google said it's worth millions. So these items must be worth millions, right? Wrong. The truth remains that we have to go by the current market value on eBay. And this is the true way for us to discover the current value. So to get this job done, we're actually going to go to ebay.com, and you'll see that there's a search bar located at the top of every eBay page. And so in this search bar, you're going to type in a few words. So just to those of you that are brand new and have no clue, this is how you would search for something that you want to shop for. And I'll talk more about shopping later. So if you're going to do some shopping, that's where you would type in to look at current listings. Now, if we're doing research, we're actually going to go to Advanced, and we're going to click on the Advanced toolbar. And when we do that, it'll take us to the Advanced search area. And this is where we're going to type in a few keywords of what we're wanting to research. So what I generally do, I'm sure some of you know that with my website, Power Selling Mom, it came into play because I started helping moms. And my idea was I started off as a mom. I was a single mom, 3 kids, 3 jobs, and it worked for me. eBay just changed my life. And so I wanted to share what I learned with other moms. So I would tell my moms to start with a box. Well, actually 3 boxes. Get 3 Rubbermaid tubs, for example. And take that first tub and start walking around the house, and I'm sure you can find some things that you don't need anymore. And put those items in that tub. And when you have about 20 items or so in that tub, come and sit down at your computer and go to Advanced Search and type in a few keywords here. And then you're going to check mark the box at the bottom that says Completed Listing. And then you're simply going to click on Search. So this is the start of the process to look up items from our box. So again, you're going to type in a few words. So the first example I'm going to use today is called Starbucks Coffee Mug. And that's everybody's homework, by the way. I want you to go to Advanced Search and just type in those 3 words, Starbucks Coffee Mug. And this is where you will, don't forget to click the box that says, or check the box that says Completed Listings, and then Search. And now what happens is it'll pull up all of the Starbucks Coffee Mug listings that have had those, 3 words in the listing titles. And as we can see, there were actually 42,684 listings that were Starbucks coffee mugs. Now, when I created this screenshot, I wish I would have seen that one penny one. I would have paid more attention because I would have bid on that. Okay, so after you do that, the next thing you want to do is off to the right is you want to adjust the sort, because seriously, I am not going to sit here and sort and look at 42,684 listings. So I'm going to adjust the sort box to, when you click on it, it'll actually turn into a drop-down box. So we want to adjust the search to highest price first. So my motto is, show me the money. Show me the money, honey. And so it's going to resort those 42,684 listings and move the highest priced item to the top of the list. And what we want to pay attention to is the green. If it's in green, it means that it's sold. If it's in red or black, it means that it did not sell. So if it's in green, we want to follow success. So as we can see, the first mug at the top sold for $611, and it had 32 bids. So they actually had an auction on the Lisbon mug, and then the Portugal mug had sold for $610, and they had 31 bids. So they used an auction format, and it actually worked well for them. So if I had a Portugal mug, and I would definitely do what they did, I would follow success. Now you'll notice down underneath each of these, you'll see sell one like this. I'll just point that out for now, but we are going to talk about that in a minute. So another one was Cleveland. Cleveland sold for $299.95, and it was a buy it now. So they listed it as a buy it now. They didn't list it as an auction, and it worked out for them. So that's great. If I had the same mug, I would probably do the same thing. And this is how you learn. The more things that you look up, you become more and more educated about what's worth listing on eBay and what's not worth listing on eBay. So you notice this other set, these 200 reusable cups, they listed them at $290 as a buy it now. Well, you got to give them credit. They took it out for a spin. It didn't work out, but got to give them credit. They tried it out. So we definitely don't want to be like them. And this is why I think it's important to look at completed listings, not sold, because I want to learn how people failed, because I don't want to be like them. So I want to educate myself on what not to do as well. So we're going to pay attention to what kind of words did they use in their title. And did they have an auction or a buy it now? We're going to learn from these people. And did they have free shipping? Did they offer free shipping? Because you know what? If they're offering free shipping and they were so successful, I'm probably going to want to do free shipping too. So these are just the kind of things that you weigh out. So to recap, we're going to go to advanced search. We're going to type in a few keywords, just a few. Don't type in too many words because it can mess up the search. So if you're trying to search for something and it's not working out, try eliminating a word or two. And don't forget to check box the completed listings. And then simply click on search. And then adjust the sort bar off to the right to highest price first. Show me the money, and follow success. This is the recipe right here that will help you be successful on eBay. It's not like, back in the Beanie Baby days when I started, I was getting thousands and thousands of dollars for one bag of beans. And now, if I put that on eBay for $1,000, it would sit there forever because no one is going to pay that price anymore. The market value. And this is my first lesson as an entrepreneur was with Beanie Babies, to learn to sell when the market's hot. Because back in the day when I made all this money on Beanie Babies, this girl came to me and she asked me to sell her Beanie Babies for her, and she was 15 in the Chicago area. And I helped her, I listed these Beanie Babies for her, and she made enough money to buy a car. It was a used car, of course, but she was able to buy a car, and I thought, oh my God, I want to be able to do this for my kids. So I pulled out Rubbermaid tubs, and I started shoving Beanie Babies. I have 3 children, and I put Beanie Babies in each tub and stashed them. And this was a big, big mistake. Now I can't get rid of them. The kids don't even want them. So it's unfortunate, but again, as an entrepreneur, it was my first lesson. So learn from my mistake. When the market's hot on eBay, sell, sell, sell. Don't get greedy. All right, so we're going to talk about listing an item on eBay. Now, there are 3 basic eBay listing styles. And there is an auction, and you can start your bid as low as a penny. I have a bunch of them going on right now as my liquidation sale. You can also have an auction with a buy it now, where buyers have the option to either bid on it or buy it now. You can have a fixed price, and this means that you set the price and the buyer can either purchase the item or they can make an offer, which is another good way to do things. So this is it. This is the 3 basic styles for having for listing an item on eBay. This is it. And just an FYI, there is a reserve auction, and this is where the seller sets a price that's hidden from the public, and there is no sale if the reserve is not met. I am not a fan of reserve auctions, and I try to avoid reserve auctions. They can be pricey, number one, and they do scare people off because, for example, if I list my Louis Vuitton, I did list my Louis Vuitton. I listed it at $1,300 with make an offer. And it ended up, someone made an offer of $900 and I sold it. So that worked great. However, if I listed it again at $1,200 and had a reserve of $900, oops, sorry, it was an auction. I started the auction at 99 cents and had a reserve of $900. And then people started bidding on it. And if it went up to $500 and it ended and somebody won it for $500, I do not have to sell it to them because I had a reserve on it. So that I personally am not a fan of. So I feel that you're better off just doing a buy it now with make an offer, and it's cheaper. Just saying. Okay, so your research is actually what's going to help you determine if you want to do an auction or a fixed price, if you're going to have your listing price starting high or starting low. So here we are on the fast track to list an item on eBay. The first fast track is called Sell One Like This. And this works like this. So you find an item that's sold on eBay, it was successful, so you click on Sell One Like This, and you'll see that located at the bottom of the listing. Now, for just a quick shout out, I'm a Starbucks addict. I actually was there today, had myself a latte. I love Starbucks. So I'm always going into Starbucks and looking for mugs. And I happened to go into this one in Ocala at the mall, and they had this mug, and I was like so excited. I could hardly get to the counter and pay for it. And it was like $5.99 on sale. And while I was sitting there having my latte, I took a picture of it and I listed it. So I found one, I found a listing, and I clicked on Sell One Like This. And of course I adjusted it to one mug. And I listed mine at $84.99 with make an offer, and someone came along and boom, they bought it, $84.99. Not that same day. It took 2 days actually, but I listed that while I was having my latte. But my point is that it's so darn easy. You just click on Sell One Like This, and what happens is it brings up the same category that the successful listing was in. It's already put it in the category for you. Your life is easier. And you don't have a store, so don't worry about any of this other stuff. But we're going to pay attention to the title. And it's going to pull in the same title that those people use. And you can adjust it if needed. I like to have the word new at the beginning. I like having at least a couple words that are capped, just like they did. But of course, mine was one mug. It wasn't two. So I would have to adjust some of the words. The biggest tip I'm going to give you today about your title is to consider your title as bait on the hook. It's the best description I can give you. Your title is not a sentence. It doesn't need to make sense even. It's all about keywords. So just fill that baby up with all the kinds of keywords that will help sell your item. Now, you can put Louis Vuitton in there if you're not selling Louis Vuitton, of course, but you can put any kinds of words that have to do with your item. And don't waste words like, hey, look, pretty, beautiful item, so lovely. Because seriously, am I going to put in lovely mug when I'm searching on eBay, or am I going to put lovely item? No. So think like a shopper, only put in words that people would use. Now the second fast track to listing an item on eBay is to go to a current live listing, and that would just be go to the eBay search bar like you're shopping and type in a few words, and then when you find a current listing, then all you're going to do is click on Sell Now. And when you click on Sell Now, again, it's going to pull up the same category that that person used, and it's going to already put it in the category for you. And again, it's going to bring in the same title that that person used. Now remember that there's 80 characters. Use them all. As many keywords as you can think of. Remember bait on the hook. And of course the title, you know, whatever they use, you can adjust it, you can change it. But on completed listings, keep in mind that they were successful. So you don't want to, you know, doctor it up too much. But if they wasted space with the or but, or they drew, or they had symbols on there, I will get rid of all of those so that I have more room for words. And then your other job is to do the condition. Is it new? Check mark. Is it new or is it used? And then you'll see also there's a place for a subtitle. Personally, I cannot recommend using that because it's not searchable at this point in the game, anyhow, on eBay. It's not searchable at all. So my feelings are save the 50 cents and don't use that. Okay, number 3, the easy way to list on eBay. This is the third easy way. And this is where you go to that top bar on eBay. And like you're going to do a search, you're going to type in a few words of what you're searching for. And then you'll click above that bar, that's above the search bar, you're going to see the word sell, S-E-L-L. And all you do is click on that. You click on sell. And now eBay is going to have a place to ask you, well, tell us what you want to sell. And you type in a few words in that box. And so in this example, we'll type in Starbucks coffee mug, Florida, or I could type in sleeping bag, whatever it is that you're thinking about selling, type it in, and click on Get Started. And then eBay is going to say, okay, would you like to put it in this category or this category or this category? And so they're going to make suggestions for you. And you can go with whatever category you feel is the most appropriate. Now, I had one lady that came to one of my local eBay workshops, and I like to follow up with people. And one day I was kind of just browsing around, and she had a pair of cowboy boots listed that weren't selling. And I thought, geez, why aren't those selling? Why is anybody bidding on them? Because in my opinion, cowboy boots are a sure thing. Of course, depends on the brand. But I thought, why aren't they selling? So I got curious, and I went in and I took a look. And here she had them listed in the category of hospital scrubs. So, you know, I guess if you're a cowboy doctor, that might be okay. But so I, sent her a message and said, Teresa, I think if you move those to the cowboy boot, ladies' boot section or the men's boot section, you would do a lot better. So sometimes the category is going to make a big difference. So you want to pay attention that you do choose an appropriate category. So no matter which one of these 3 fast tracks to listing an item on eBay that you use, they all have the same basic information. There's a title, again, 80 characters, bait on the hook. There's also a category. You want to make sure it's in the right category. I'll just tell you right now, on eBay, you basically have 2 types of shoppers. You have the search engine shopper, and that's someone who's just going to type in keywords. I'm going to type in Florida Starbucks mug, or I'm going to type in Starbucks cup, and I'm just going to type in keywords. Then you have your category shopper. That's someone who's going to go right to that category on eBay, the Starbucks mug category, And what's going to sell them is your photo. And I'm going to go into that in a minute. So category shoppers and search engine shoppers, title shoppers. So your next job is it new or used? And then photos, which we're going to talk about in a minute. So we got our title, our category, is it new or used, photos. Then we're going to talk about the description, because you have to describe the item, of course. We have to set the price, of course. This is also important. We also have to have some shipping information in there. And then we need a return policy. This is it, folks. This is your basic checklist. No matter which way you list on eBay, this is it. Title, category, new or used, photos, description, price, shipping, and a return policy. There's your checklist for listing an item on eBay. Now, let's back up. We've got our category. We've got our title. Is it new or used? And now we're going to add the photos. So those of you that are using laptops or desktops, you are going to click on a box that looks like this, and what's going to happen is it's going to pull up the photos from your computer. And you already, so most people, or not most, but some people that are using, still using digital cameras, so you would take a photo with your digital camera of your item, plug it into your laptop or your desktop, upload it to the computer, and then pull them in like this. Now, those of you like myself that are listing items with smartphones, so what I do is I go to my laptop, I do all of the above, but when I come to the photo area, I skip it. And I do absolutely my complete listing except for the photo, and then I save it for later. And then I pull it up on the app on my iPhone, and then all I do is add the photos and then have it go live. And that's the fast track for advanced sellers that are using smartphones. You can get more listings done. So those of you that are using desktops and laptops, you're going to see a screen like this. And then again, you can edit the photos. You can change the order that they're in. You want your first photo to be the most impressive. And every item has 4 sides. So you should be able to take at least 4 photos. My theory is have at least 12. I mean, the more photos, I mean, some items I don't have 12. But try to have as many photos as possible. Gallery Plus, sometimes it's free. If it's free, I check the box, say yes. If it's not free, I do not use it. Now, our next job is to describe the item. And basically that means stare at it and type out the description of the item. What do you see? Pretend you're typing it out to someone that's blind. Keep it short, easy to read. You want to describe the item, keep it easy to read, and then you want to keep it in the left margin. There's nothing worse. If you've done any shopping on eBay, there's nothing worse than looking at a listing that goes on and on and on and on and on and on. And you have to scroll down the page and you're like, oh my gosh, there's too much information here. I'm out of here. You only have 2 seconds to actually capture that person. The first few parts of that listing need to attract them and be easy to read. So I keep everything left margin. I'm old now, so I like to have the number 18 font with my letters. I can see better. It helps everybody see, whether they're old or young. It don't matter, but it helps everybody's eyes adjust quickly. And keep in mind that the percentage of cell phone users and mobile devices is so high on eBay that if they cannot view your listing on a mobile device, you're losing another customer. So this is why I love left margin. And when I say left margin, I say type in about 4 or 5 words and then hit the enter key and type in 4 or 5 words, enter key. And so they're short, sweet sentences. When you're done, you're welcome to go look at some of my listings, my current listings on eBay, and you'll see what I'm talking about. They're all very easy to read. Also, make sure that you have black text with white background. And you think, oh, of course, everybody knows that. But no, not everybody does know that. Some people, I had a guy pay me for consulting, and he said his sales slowed down after he bought a template. And so I pulled one of his listings up on my cell phone, and his text box, his description box was completely empty. There was nothing written in it. Well, come to find out, he had, so I was like, okay, Joe, you need to describe your item. And he was like, what? Well, here, he used black background and white font, white letters. So what was happening was my iPhone was blocking out the background, which most of them do anyhow. People that use those templates, it's a waste of money. And so the mobile devices block that all out, and then all they see is the words anyhow. So in his situation, we were seeing white words, which of course we can't read. And then also make sure that when you describe your item that you include flaws. If it has a broken part, make sure you talk about the broken part, type the information about it, and then, or you're going to get a return. And then always try to have a positive statement. I try to describe this as, it's like with raising children. When you're talking to a child and you have something negative to say, you should always follow it with something positive to say. So I know this is bad, but there's something good. So you always want to, like, the glass has a chip on the side, but the colors are brilliant. You know, have something nice to say. And again, you can look at any examples by going to my eBay store. I bought the URL, so you just type in askdanna.com, and that'll take you right to my eBay store and just take a look at some of my listings. Okay, so now we've got our title, we've got our description, we've got our photos, we've got the right category. Now we're going to decide, are we going to list it as an auction, or are we going to have a fixed price? And this is where eBay is going to make suggestions to us. If we have an auction, do we want to add a buy it now to that auction? Now remember, if you start your auction at 99 cents and you only get one bidder and it ends at 99 cents, well, guess what? Yes, I know you know what that means. That means that you have to ship it with a smile and still treat it like that $1,000 item that you sold, because that customer deserves the same customer service. And my motto is, okay, all right, I didn't make $1 million on this, but it's okay. I'm going to get it shipped off. The customer's going to love it. They're going to be happy. They got a great deal. And I'm going to go on to the next item and make more money on something else. So don't stress over the items that sell for a low amount of money, or try not to do it. But if it happens, don't stress over it, because, you know, maybe that person didn't have any money, and that's the way it's meant to be. All right, so then the other thing is how many days do you want it to go for? An auction could go 1 day, 3 days, 5 day, or 7 day without additional fees, although 1 day, 3 day, and 5 day have just changed. I think it was May 1st. Now they're $1 to list those. 7 days should be free to you. A 10-day auction will cost you 40 cents. So, of course, you're on a budget. You want to list it the cheapest way, so you're probably going to want to go with 7 days. And then you can also schedule your listings. I love this tool, because when I go on vacation, what I like to do is a week before I come home from vacation, I will have auctions scheduled to go live. I call this my paid vacation. So what happens is they go live the last week before I come home, and they'll end 2 days after I get home. I learned this the hard way. You should have it 2 days after you get home so that you have time to recover. Otherwise, you'll come home, and guess what? You have to do all this shipping, and it just like wears you out. So be sure to pay attention to when you're scheduling a vacation time, to make sure that you have appropriate shipping time after your return. And it does cost 10 cents to schedule. It's a big deal, right? Because, okay. So then, how are you going to ship? And then eBay is also going to make suggestions to you. It's not going to be that hard. And I don't go into shipping on this presentation, but I can tell you a quick tip is go to USPS.com, create an account, and order free shipping supplies. They're free, and then just order a bunch of boxes. So you can take a look at all of the different sizes, and that'll help you going forward on what items will fit in what box, and then you'll know what to charge. So try to offer free shipping when you can. I do not offer free shipping all the time. I try to break it up. Some is free, some is not, and it all comes out in the end of the day. You're also going to see an option for what's called international global shipping, and it's called the Global Shipping Program on eBay. So I'm not going to go into a ton of details, but I am going to tell you when you see this, just say yes. Don't worry about it, and just say yes to global shipping, and then no outside the global shipping program. And what this means is everything that is, every item that you're selling will be seen in Canada, Australia, the UK, all these different countries. But no worries, your job is to ship it to Kentucky. You're going to ship it just like normal to a USA shipping address. If you have free USA shipping, you're going to ship it just the same as you would anything else. And then eBay Fulfillment Center is going to ship it for you to that country. You're protected. It's easy. No customs forms. It's a breeze. So I suggest new buyers or new sellers just say yes to the global shipping program and no to items outside the global shipping program. And when you say no to the items outside the global shipping, that means companies like Saudi Arabia and the Russian Federation or whatever the country could be called, that is not part of the global shipping program. There's a reason that they're not part of the global shipping program. And so there's probably a chance of loss or whatever the reason is, but you don't have to stress. Okay, now to be successful on eBay, you are going to need a shipping scale. No doubt, no worries. You definitely don't cut yourself short. You are going to need a shipping scale. And guess what? A bathroom scale does not count. And you know why? Because it lies. Believe me, I know this fact. So a bathroom shipping scale, it does not count. It does not work. You don't hold it, stand on, put it down. That's crazy. It does not work. You're going to need a proper shipping scale. And guess what? I know a great place you can buy one. Yes, it's called eBay.com. And also, my husband bought me a beautiful one for our wedding anniversary, and he got it at Harbor Freight. And that's like his favorite toy store locally. But there's lots of shipping scales out there, but you just want to make sure you have one. Because you're going to have to put in the weight and the measurements. Now, when you're doing your listing right now, you can guesstimate. You can get away with guesstimating before you're going in to do the actual labels when it comes time to ship. So this is just how I suggest to do it. And then to make your life easier, just choose package or thick envelope. Now, of course, if it's a giant box or a large box, you're going to adjust that. Or if it's freight shipping, if it's a couch, which do not be afraid to list. I've sold several. So just choose freight shipping. And then what happens is you'll this box will come up, and now you got all of these choices. And so write this down. I'm not going to stress you out over all of these choices. Just choose USPS Standard Post, 2 to 9 business days. No worries, no stress. This is a fast track to listing. Of course, when it comes shipping day, we're probably going to ship priority mail, and they're going to be over the moon because it's going to get there quicker. But just to make your life easier and get your listing done, just choose USPS Standard Post. Now, also, you're going to see an option for offering local pickup only. Now, some people that are selling couches may say, you know what, I can't ship this. I'm going to offer local pickup only. Well, don't do it. Because if you choose local pickup only, guess what? You're only going to show up locally. So Like I'm in Florida, I'm in Ocala, Florida, and I sold a go-kart. A guy did not mind coming from Georgia to come and pick it up. If I had local pickup only, he would not have seen it. So my theory is to put in your listing, we'll ship anywhere in the world, buyer makes arrangement for shipping. I will be doing more webinars on shipping and on shipping big items, so stay tuned on that. But for now, just know that no item is too big to sell on eBay. And then you come to the review part. So all you do is put in your PayPal email address, which is your PayPal ID. So make sure that when you join PayPal, you have the same email address that you're going to use for your little small business. And then the location of the item, you want to have the zip code of where the item is located. So if you're selling an item for a friend, or they're going to ship it for you, and it's at a different zip code, make sure you put in the zip code of where the item is located. And then you'll need a handling time, and I suggest 1 business day because it makes it more attractive. My husband was just shopping for something yesterday, and he said the shipping time was like 14 days. And he says, I'm not buying it now from this guy. Even though it was cheaper, he left, and he went to buy it from someone that had a shorter handling time. You are going to scare people off if you have a long handling time. 1 business day simply means that after they pay, you have 24 hours to ship the item. So if they pay at 3 o'clock on Friday, you have to ship it before 3 o'clock on Monday. So it's business hours. Some people don't ship on Saturday. I love to ship on Saturday. I have no problem with it. But if I'm busy on Saturday, I won't stress. And then returns. If you do not offer returns, you're going to lose money because that also scares people off. I'm the same. If I'm shopping on eBay and if they don't accept returns, I think, well, what's wrong with the item, or the seller's shady? And that's just me, but that's how I think. So if I'm thinking like that, others are too. So you're going to lose business. And believe me, I've had very, very few returns. But if I do have a return, it's quick, it's fast, it's easy, and move on. Get over it, move on. It's not the end of the world if you have a return. So then you come to this area. Now you've got your title, your description, your shipping. We've been through the whole listing process, and now we can either preview it, which means we can take a look at it, or as I mentioned before, you could save it for later. And you can come back to it later, or you can list it and it could go live. But you have choices, so it's not in stone. And here is the absolute best good news in the world, and that is that it will not blow up. So your computer will not blow up. You can practice. You can save it for later. You could go list that coffee mug, and then you can delete it. And you can come back again and try it again before it goes live. So the main thing is that you just keep trying and get the hang of it. It's so easy once you get, comfortable with the process. So I suggest just doing it again and then list it again. And it's not going to go live until you hit that button and make it go live. Otherwise, just keep practicing and have fun with it, and the better you'll become at listing items on eBay. So a few final words and helpful tips just for you. The first helpful tip I want to suggest is to go shopping. And everybody loves shopping, right? So when you go shopping on eBay, there is everyday stuff you can find. Anything that you need, you can find on eBay, such as lip balm. I buy lip balm on eBay all the time. I'm a bit of a lip balm addict, and I like to keep lip balm in every room, in every purse, and everywhere. So when I run out, I head to eBay, and I can usually find it $2.99 free shipping. And I like to send lip balm to my kids. So I'll go in, I'll order lip balm for them. The other fun thing about eBay is you can have several mailing addresses. So I have like everybody in my family on my mailing address list on eBay. And then I buy something for them and I ship it to them. And it's just easier than me shipping it to them. You can find pet toys. I don't have grandchildren. I have granddog. Well, I have a grandcat. I have 5 granddogs and 1 grandcat. And I'm always going on eBay and sending them bones and toys and catnip and fun stuff. You can also find sunscreen, any type of lotion. I'm telling you, anything you need, you can find on eBay. Have some coffee. I bought very good Dominican Republic coffee on eBay. And also, of course, our mugs and our cups and coffee makers. I bought a coffee grinder on eBay, and I bought a frother, a Starbucks frother on eBay. This is the place to go for your shipping scale. Now, this company, this eBay seller, he really had the best deal last time I looked. So you could just go to the search bar on eBay and put in SAGA, I don't know how to say it, SAGA, postal scale 66 LB, and you'll probably find him. Otherwise, just put in postal scale 66 LB and see what comes up, see who's got the best price. This particular day, he had them really cheap, so it's up to you. And then I like to ship anything under a pound in poly bags. And these make my life easier. Just, it's quick. I can throw like a little girl's dress or some little jewelry item in a poly bag, and it's very easy and safe. Even the big box companies ship in poly bags. So any kind of things like that that you need can be found on eBay. So you're going to become a part of over 110 million items are available worldwide, and over 90 million active users worldwide. Approximately 7 million items are added every day, and a pair of shoes sells every 8 seconds. A motor part or accessory sells every second. A cell phone, cha-ching, sells every 6 seconds, and a car every 90 seconds. So one thing they don't mention is a forklift sells every 4 hours on eBay. Is this crazy? So my motto is that there is plenty of eBay for us all to be blessed and prosper. I'm a firm believer in that because I feel that everybody on this webinar, we all can be selling Starbucks mugs and we all could be making money, whether it's Nike shoes or whatever it is. There's plenty of room for all of us to make a living or to get rid of our stuff on eBay. So I like to use my husband as an example. He's from Belfast, Northern Ireland, and he's been in the blacktop seal coating business forever. He just retired recently. But before he retired, when the economy got crazy, no companies, no grocery stores, no big organizations were getting their parking lots done. They weren't getting any, he wasn't getting any business. And so business slowed down, and of course, he has a wonderful eBay instructor. So I showed him how to research items on eBay. So I said, if you can research, honey, all you got to do is pay attention to research. And he would type with 2 fingers, ... right? And so what he did was I set him up on the computer, had him start looking stuff up, and then he he subscribed to a newsletter that a lady sent out from a local estate sale lady. So do a Google search for estate sales in your community, put estate sale and the name of your town, and then you'll be able to subscribe to a newsletter. And then what happens is you'll get copies, you'll get newsletters that will have items that are going to be sold at the estate sale, and then you can go to completed listings or advanced search on eBay, and then you can type in a few items. And so this is what Jimmy did. And so he was looking up, this lady was selling out all of this camera equipment. Well, it just so happened that she was taking bids. She was doing a silent auction. And so he said, okay, I bid $2,500 for all of this camera equipment because he was researching it on eBay. That's what he felt to bid. So someone else wanted it over $4,000. Couple days go by, and she calls him up and says, hey, the guy didn't have any money. The next guy didn't have any money. Do you have $2,500? And he said, yes. So he went over there, gave her $2,500, came home. The first lens he listed on eBay, he sold for $2,500. So he made his money back right away. He did $17,000 in 2 months selling this camera equipment on eBay. So here's a man that knew nothing about camera equipment. He knew not much about eBay, but he knew how to research product and sell one like this. So it just goes to show how when you set your mind to doing these listings and making it so easy that you could do the same too. So now I will open it up to questions. Also, watch your email inbox. You'll be receiving an email from Danna Crawford at powersellingmom.com with a copy of this presentation. So I'm going to stop the recording now. And thank you, everybody, for joining me.